Those were the days, golden and true. This is the place someday I'll return to. The days went by and the years rolled on. Together we stood side by side, we were one. And now it's lost on the waves of time, far from the shores of this life. Gone, baby, gone, take me home, where I belong. Gone, baby, gone, take me home, where I belong.
The population of LA County is about 10.1 million people. Makes us the biggest county in the entire nation. Worldwide, as an economy, we'd probably be the 8th largest economy in the world. And this number went up too. It's 290 who have tested positive. We're in the top of the Hall of Justice jail. The Hall of Justice is the headquarters for the LA County Sheriff's Department. What we're doing here is we're learning from other people's mistakes. We saw what happened in other areas of the world, how they dealt with the COVID-19, the pandemic, and we're trying to learn from other people's mistakes so we don't repeat them. And so far, considering the size of the population here in LA County, our rate of infection is relatively low. We want to keep it that way. The ones that are most affected by the COVID-19 are the people manning the lines. They're in essential services. They have to be out there. Those are your grocery workers. Those are your healthcare workers. Your first responders, the ones that are out there in the public sector. Those are all the essential functions that have to go on in the poorest communities. We have a homeless outreach service team. The city of LA has a similar effort where we're going to Skid Row, we're going to the riverbeds, the homeless encampments. We're trying to convince those that are vulnerable to the COVID-19 to go to a shelter where we have medical services that are available. We have the resources, what they call the wraparound services. A lot of people are resistant to service because they don't want to lose their freedom or their independence, but we're trying to tell them it's dangerous to be out there living on the street. We got to convince them to come inside.
People don't know people actually get shot in their tent. You follow me? They have real beef and disagreements and things. And in Skid Row, it's settled a different way. You feel me? So they got bigger issues in their minds than Corona.
I think it's a hoax. How are you gonna tell me to put a mask on me? That to me, it's just a fashion statement.
And those masks, I think, are a joke. It's just a gimmick to make money.
There's a lot of different types of poverty. There's the material poverty and the spiritual poverty of feeling unwanted and unloved, and that's much more difficult to fix. The material poverty, we can get them into housing, we can give them a meal, but the spiritual poverty takes a tenderness and a human touch. And a lot of them have not been touched with understanding in a long time. Maybe they were punched in the face or something like that, and that was the closest they got to human touch. We always try and touch our patients, hug our patients, and let them know that we love them and care about them. And that's just not as easy with a mask and gloves. So here's the thing. Whatever you tell me, I'll do. If you're gonna go later, then I won't change the dressing now.
So let's be real.
So we're gonna pack his wound because we're not thinking we're gonna get to urgent care today.
I can try to figure out how many times we can get over there to do a dressing change this week. If we need to and we need to do daily, will figure that out also.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Of course, thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
It looks pretty bad.
It actually looks worse than it did.
I'm surprised that virus has not attacked me yet.
Well, one of the things I was hoping to talk about was how close all your guys' tents are. You want the tents about 12 feet apart.
Yeah. Thank you for
Awesome. Thank you.
helping me, and I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate you letting us come out to help you.
Yeah. I don't want to die yet.
As the pandemic has marched along, the people that we serve have been even more and more isolated on the street. It's even more important that we have a constant presence on the street. I noticed your mask too. How long have you been wearing that mask? One of the things that we're talking about is that for the people that we serve living out here, if they can't keep it clean, then you're just trapping all that dirt on your nose and mouth. And that's actually worse than not wearing a mask at all. God bless you. God bless you too. We'll see you later. We've been handing out tents, trying to get one person to every tent in an effort to social distance the folks on the street. When the COVID-19 pandemic got to the point that people realized it was a reality, the swiftness and extent of support from the general public was beyond what I imagined. We have donations within 2 weeks of over 100 tents because we said we're trying to social distance people on the street. We have masks. People are emptying their supply of masks for us. At one point, we had more masks for us than the entire hospital had. You have a cough? Well, let me take a listen to you. All right, lean forward.
Something wrong?
Well, let me just, can you take a deep breath? Nope, it's good.
No.
There you go.
Thank you, appreciate it. Absolutely.
You need a new tent. You don't have a tent?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Man, I didn't know that. I'm gonna put this up today, man.
Yeah.
Or tonight.
Well. Do you feel short of breath now?
Yeah, I gotta take my meds, bro.
Is it worse when you're walking?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you feel like you're filling up with fluid?
Yeah, I think my legs are.
Let me see. It's not fat though, it's water.
They're getting wet.
Oh man. Oh, we'll keep that covered. Gonna take a listen to your lungs. You probably have fluid on your lungs. You do have some fluid on your lungs.
See?
That's why you're short of breath.
Because of the virus and everything's closed.
Yeah, everything's closed.
Oh, no, there's no restaurants. The restaurants are closed.
Yeah. So where do you have to go if you go to the bathroom?
Behind the tree.
Behind the tree. They're opening up a bunch of motels for people who, if they get COVID, they would be at high risk for something really bad happening to them. So because of your heart and your lungs, you would fall into that high risk category. So it's 3 months in the motel.
Yeah?
And then it might end up being longer, and they'll try and get you into housing from the motel, but we can't promise that.
Yeah.
We can monitor you a lot closer with your medicine. All right, I'll have Gabrielle put in a referral for you.
Okay.
Okay? Do you want some sanitizer?
Right, see you guys later. All right.
I've got something to tell you now. Can't get away from troubles all around. Prisons of my memories.
Helping is our passion, and to us, you know, there's that old expression, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life, kind of. That's kind of the way I see a lot of it, is that we're out there helping somebody that is worse off than we are. So when in the end, it I guess helps us going home to seeing how much we're blessed.
It can get overwhelming if you think, you know, there are 45,000 unsheltered homeless in LA, and our vision is that everyone has access to basic health care, and in like a broad sense of the term, not just medication. But we don't treat numbers, we treat one person. So when I'm in front of Doug or Bart, then there's not 45,000, there's just Doug, and then there's just Bart. And hopefully over time that adds up to something.
Take me home where I belong.
This is the first business that I've started myself. I've opened about 7 restaurants when I was younger, and then I was an aerospace engineer for about 20 years. This is, this is my first like big solo project. We just opened in June, so we were going to go into distribution at the end of February. We make spirits, we make vodka, we make gin. We were just getting to the point where people were like, got it, yeah, you're a distillery, oh, that's awesome, you make cocktails, that's fantastic, oh, we love it. And then you have to shut down. So this is our vodka. We actually just won a silver medal for this premium vodka. And this is 80 proof or 40% alcohol. So a case, 2 cases of this would constitute 1 gallon of hand sanitizer. That's how strong the alcohol is in that product. Hey, so you got everything you need today?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. We can just get the 2 guys. Okay. That should work. So we applied for the PPE, which is the payroll protection, and we're hoping to get that so we can put it towards putting people back to work. But just like everybody else, we're kind of crossing our fingers and hoping the next round will come in. Because the first round went out so fast, the banks are all out of money. They didn't even tell me when orders are coming in because there's whatever it is.
I've always said when you have to let somebody go, it's a really bad day. It's nothing that anyone ever wants to do. And making the calls to our staff to let them know that we weren't going to be able to have them back for a while was probably one of the, I think, the hardest day since all of this has happened. I definitely took a 15 in the bathroom and cried it out for a minute.
So that's the great thing about a distillery is that you have all the physical components and the machinery to make hand sanitizer. It's just in a very small scale. According to the WHO, hand sanitizer's effective down to 65% alcohol, but we're making an 80% per the formulation, and we're getting up to about 400 gallons of high-proof alcohol a week to meet the demand that's out there for our customers and for the hospitals and whoever else is in need. I think if there's one lesson that's been learned through this whole process and our supply chain is faltered, and there's certain things you just can't get because we're gotten so used to buying things from overseas. I think this has shown the importance of having the capability to make things here in the United States. This situation is, you know, from an idealistic perspective, like we're going to do something that we can do to help. It's not so much, you know, making any money, making any profit. It's really just what can we do to help out. But it's not completely self-sacrifice. I mean, we want this to be over as quickly as possible. So if there's anything that we can do to support the effort to reduce the outbreak, slow that down, or blunt the impact that's happening, that means we can get back to business as usual quicker, and we can get back to what we normally do faster.
We call this winter quarters, and normally we only use this in the winter time, when the off season. But now, of course, due to the COVID-19, we had to take the winter break in summer. Circus Vargas has been around for 51 years now, so a lot of people know us too, know the name Circus Vargas. And that makes me feel proud. So yeah, can't wait to get these trucks down the road, that's for sure. Well, it's caused a great deal of loss, of course, not only financially, which is probably going to be, you know, over $1 million or more that we will have lost. But also emotionally, there's a cost to it. You know, you want to work, you want to go on, you want to provide others with jobs. You know, not everybody has enough. You know, we're trying to help the people that don't have enough. You know, give them, you know, money for food, because, you know, that's the one thing, you don't want people to be hungry. If somebody's down, I try to keep their spirits up a little bit, talk with them a little bit, just in case, you know, they're feeling down. And I say, don't worry, there's hope. It's getting better. The news is positive. It's always positive. Even my dad is here. He's 78. He's just supporting us mostly, and with, you know, just being there for us and helping us whatever he can.
Keep you fit.
Keep you fit.
Very important to keep fit.
Yeah. You were born in the war, right? We're just talking about.
Yes, I was born during 1942, during the World War II. So they had the circus. My grandparents, my parents, they were running a circus in Italy. So they had to close down for 5 years. And then when everything went over, they started again, and then it was good, you know. You have to look forward, be hopeful. So, you know, when this is over, it's gonna be good, or maybe even better, you know.
He says the wind is making them struggle a little bit today, but they're managing. So yeah, this keeps us busy, you know, to like not thinking of ourselves so much, and, you know, train with the kids and keep them motivated, and, you know, they have to think of the future, what they want to do next, the next new act. But I'm so glad that they're so innovative, you know, like they're not like, the sun is too hot, we can't train. No, hey, let's make something to shade us from the sun, you know. This is what makes the heart of the performer beat and fill with joy, and they work off the smiles of the audience, and the audience works off the smile, the energy of the people, and this is what keeps us alive. Many times, we just go in the circus and we stay 10 minutes and just watch both the performers and the audience, and we get just as much joy of seeing the audience smile, laugh, and then we see our performers and our kids enjoy performing, and both of those things give us equal joy and makes us know in our heart, yes, this is the right thing to do and to keep fighting for and keep it alive in the world, in this industry. It's quarantine time, but at the same time it's like family time.
The circus is their home. Yeah. The circus community have no home. We make
the home wherever we are with the circus.
We say home wherever we are, so we decided to, just come here, bring everybody here and stay here with everybody because we don't want our cast, our crew, these people that are so loyal to us and they've been so loyal for so long and working for us and all that. We don't want them to think that we come here, we drop them off in the middle of the desert and then we go home and sitting on the swimming pool and So we want to stay here and we're gonna ride this storm together with them. Almost no circus performers and no circus out there have money to be without performing, be without working for months. We don't. But with something like this happen, you have no control of it, and all of a sudden you are at the end of the road with no money and being really worried about what is going to happen and how long we're going to be able to sustain ourselves and our family and our performers. We are coming into the end of our savings, and it's hard actually to, think of the future when you have to actually now.
We're still waiting on government funds.
We see what is going to happen if some of the
if we can get some, we don't even
funds that are going to be allocated for the small business. Hopefully we can qualify for a portion also, so we can also pay our employees.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Come on, where are you going? Generation after generations, we, go back into the same, and that's what we used to do.
Jump on the net.
Jump on the net. And that's how you start.
That's how you start being part of the circus.
Gone, baby, gone, take me home where I belong. Take me home where I belong.
Who knows where this road might lead?
Hi, this is Pastor Mike. Welcome to the greatest day. We're so glad you're here to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ with our church family. While you're here, please remember to drive there and follow the volunteer parking. Please be patient as we try to park everyone safely.
I'll find his light.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to get back into your car.
He keeps yelling at me.
This is not a good... Is that 6 feet?
It is. We measured. Yeah, we did get it.
I think you guys are too close. Just stay in your car, sir.
And lead us to personal revival. You can join us on our website. Saturday night, 6 p.m.
It's been really weird, we've had to really rethink how we do ministry because you can't, get people into the church because you can't gather. And so there's just a lot of weird new things. Come up with new and inventive ways to reach people and invite people to come and still be a part of church, even though it's strange and drive-in parking. But I don't know, I think people are excited about it. But we live in a very different world right now. You go to the grocery store and people look at you funny, people kind of keeping their distance and eyeballing everybody and wondering what the world is coming to. Everybody's afraid. I never dreamed of the day that I would sit down on a scissor lift. I'm kind of up here. Preach the message for Easter. It's just crazy. This is all just so crazy. I think everybody will stay safe. Happy Easter!
The freedom that we have, which is the envy of the world, it was not passed on to us in the bloodstream. But there were men who did once sacrifice their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. They shed their blood for us to have this here today. And they did all of it not for a land. They did all of it not so they could put a flag down and say, I own this, this is mine. They did all of it for an idea. And they enshrined that idea in something authoritative. Here we call it the Constitution of the United States, and it's why we fight for it. Wickedness hates freedom. This is why now that you and I live in a fallen world, it is the nature of mankind to always want to control other people. And we would like to welcome up here in just a moment my good friend, Brother Ammon Bundy. I know I saw it somewhere.
If you understand him fully and what he taught and the example he showed us, you will not stand around and allow others' rights to be infringed upon. And therefore, where there is Christ, there is liberty. And that's all I have to say. So thank you for being here.
Over the past days, I've received thousands of hate messages for helping a church group find a place to have Easter services. This has caused me to be discouraged, and it's made me reflect again upon our current situation in this country. I don't think there's ever been a time in United States history where we have not come together and celebrated Easter as a people. Even in world wars we came together, and even in our civil wars we came together. You want me to open that, buddy? What do you say?
Thank you.
The Constitution is a document of limitations. It's saying the government can only do this. And in the Bill of Rights it says, and you shall not do this.
I need you.
Uh-oh.
He cut his finger really bad.
Oh no.
I think you have to cut the top off. Oh, you got it?
You gotta be careful with those knives, huh? They hurt. People might think, oh man, you're being so rebellious, you're causing the problems. But no, in the long run, the prudent method is to do exactly what we're doing. And it's important so that we don't pass on a Stalin or a Hitler. We don't pass that on to our children. We stop it now and say, look, sorry, the right to worship is not your right, it's ours. We're going to exercise it. The right to travel is not your right, it's ours. We're going to exercise it. And same with the right to assemble, the right to trade, all of those things. They're our rights. They're not yours. And sorry, we're going to exercise them. If the loss of rights is a greater danger than, say, a virus, then I would say that what we did yesterday was the right thing. And it needs to keep happening more and more.
There she is. Honk for trouble. Right here, I have the Trump pen. His tie lifts up and his hair lifts up. I will build a great wall. He has like 10 different sayings. So right here, these are bandanas, so you can also use them as social distancing masks. With the coronavirus going on, easy, just tie it in back. Make America Great. we're going to have to make America great again once it gets reopened. And President Trump is supposed to be announcing the plans for America to reopen, so I cannot wait for them. There, how's that? Is that better?
I am proud to be able to safely support our customers, first responders, and healthcare heroes. It is truly an honor to be here. Mr. President, thank you. It's been my honor. It's been my honor.
That's funny because you don't hear big crowds cheering and clapping because of the social distancing. They only have a handful of people there with them. Unbelievable.
I'm on my way back. I'm way down. Can't seem to shake these blues. Oh my Lord, what can I do? I'm way down.
How you doing?
Why?
We're trying to unite America on positive messages and avoid and eliminate negativity so
But
people
you
can...
realize Trump is the source. Yeah, but she's right. She's right. He's the reason that we're in this mess.
Who is?
He fired the pandemic team.
No, he did because
Absolutely
they were unprepared and they didn't have nothing ready.
Because he didn't think it was necessary to spend that money on what is now a dire situation.
Absolutely not. You better check
You're
the
saying
facts.
that didn't happen? Where is this money going
The money
to now?
went to a new organization.
A space force.
No.
A space force. Look
Yeah.
how much we need a space force right now. Aren't you glad we have a space force instead of a
Absolutely.
pandemic team?
When you're trying to put fake news together,
This is disgusting. It spits in the face of everybody who isn't Republican.
everybody who has mental illness. We're here getting ready for the Operation Gridlock with the Trump Unity Bridge, and we're building a caravan. This caravan came out, these are auto workers for Trump, came out from Sterling Heights to join us. We got local Wayne County and Livonia people over here right now, from Livonia, Westland.
Michigan Conservative Coalition called Wednesday's event Operation Gridlock. They say it's their response to what they see as the governor unnecessarily gridlocking Michigan's economy in an effort to slow the spread of coronavirus. Tonight, backlash over today's massive demonstration outside the state capitol called Operation Gridlock. The event was held to protest the governor's stay-home order. As News 10's Rachel Sweet tells us, people who live downtown say it was disruptive and there was nothing peaceful about it. At one point, it was also captured that an ambulance became stuck in the protest traffic.
They need to think about other people. They can protest, they can write letters to the governor, they can do everything. I mean, swarm the governor with emails. She'll read them.
I've been in a lot of protests in the last 6 or 7 years, but this is undoubtedly one of the most unusual protests and maybe inspiring protests I've ever been on. Governor Whitmer is actually in a process of attempting to use fear to take our freedoms away. She's overblowing this whole thing about the coronavirus to a level where it's causing a lot of fear and panic in people. And you know, one of the good points that was pointed out in several of those broadcasts was that they expect this effort of fighting for our freedoms to spread throughout the other states. So we'll see.
Right now, the Trump Unity Bridge has been invited to California, Florida. People all over the country are inviting us to come out to their states and put on an Operation Gridlock with them.
Here is a house, here is a family.
in the lower ninth ward. As crazy as this may sound, the water went up. When the levees broke, the water went that way, all towards the lower ninth ward. We lost everything. Sitting on this side of the levee and looking that way, it makes me, it brings back memories, brings back a lot of bad memories. This is my first time ever being on the industrial canal, to be honest with you. I mean, as a child, I fished it, but being in the middle of it is something totally different. And looking at the levee, knowing that the water, this water right here just went that way, thousands of people was displaced. I still have family members never came back, even still today. It's hard though, it's hard starting all over. It's extremely hard because I only had, like I said, a pair of jeans and 2 t-shirts. And starting life all over again is hard. I don't wish that on anybody. For everybody who don't know me, my name is Bernell Cotlin. I was born and raised right here in the lower ninth ward in New Orleans. I have 3 neighbors. I went from 48 people to only 3, that's still today. I drove up and down, I noticed we didn't have nothing. We have no stores, no banks, no hospital. There's nothing in my community. There's nothing at all. I called up all the big box stores, Walmart, Winn-Dixie, H-E-B. These are all grocery stores. And I begged them to come here to the lower ninth ward. And I'm very embarrassed because I didn't know this. They said they're not coming to my community. They called it a food desert. This is what the building used to look like. The same building that you just seen outside, it's what it looked like now. I paid $1,500 for this building. It was cheap, but I ended up spending everything. I spent my entire life savings. I had to take down this 2nd floor. This was a liquor store. This was a bar room, and this was like a restaurant. The lower ninth ward didn't need another liquor store. We didn't need another restaurant. We needed a grocery store. This is the only place in my community where you can buy fruits and vegetables. There's no other place. And service with a smile. Excuse me, sir, excuse me. If you want something, you go do it. The answer to my problem for my entire community of the lower ninth ward, they didn't have a grocery store. It was a food desert. We have to make a grocery store. So the answer was, no grocery store, build one, make one.
Bác làm 5 pound, bác làm 5 pound, bác Cảnh 5 pound rồi ông Phúc 2-3 pound được. With the COVID-19 pandemic is that restaurants are shut down, farmers markets are shut down to a point. Local producers are getting a lot more customers because people they need food, they need to go somewhere to get food, and more they're reaching out to their local farmers, the people that are doing small time farming, not mass produced industrial farming. People are realizing is that that's so important. People need food no matter what. Ăn cà tím lớn. When the Vietnamese people first settled in New Orleans, it was basically 1975, right after the Vietnam War ended. They didn't know for themselves, and they didn't know what would happen to their children. They didn't know what would be available for their later generations. So a lot of people, they just got on boats and they left without knowing where they were going to go. They just knew that they wanted to leave because they were afraid of, what was going to happen. The BP oil spill happened, which is another disaster that really affected the New Orleans community and the Vietnamese community in particular, because so many people went into the fishing industry, and because of the oil spill, a lot of the people lost their jobs overnight and started doing the idea of an urban farm to help people earn income. And so this is how our farm started. A couple of farmers here, they've been here for over 45 years, but they had farming knowledge in Vietnam as well.
Sợ lắm. Ở Việt Nam thì mình biết đường nói. Ở đây mình có biết gì đâu mà.
Yeah.
Nói làm sao được đâu, mình đi bệnh viện hay gì không biết đường.
Yeah. So she said like she's very scared of it. She said that one of the things that she worries about is if she needs to go to the hospital, if there's a language barrier, then that's an issue as well. She's trying to stay careful, but at the same time, like she's scared.
Head south on Flood Street. In a quarter mile, turn left onto North Claiborne Avenue.
What's going on, man?
What's up? Hey,
What they say, Christmas came early.
Yeah. Just wanted to give you some stuff from our farm,
Man,
and I know you can put it to good use.
You better believe it.
I know you can use
This,
a lot.
I know exactly what to do with
All
this
right,
kid. This is
I knew
beautiful.
you would. I knew you would.
Thank you, man. This
yeah,
is
of course,
beautiful.
Of course.
This is
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah.
20 minutes out of Mother Earth, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Before here, we had, believe it or not, a movie theater.
Oh, wow.
A one-screen movie theater.
Okay.
Was right here. They had a record store. Katrina took it all away. I remember this as a kid.
Yeah.
And
wow.
back here was the parking.
Being able to like grow your own food and not dependent on and being able to depend on your own community is one of the most like liberating things.
I love
right?
what you did. Something just came to my mind. Depend on your own community.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah. Our nonprofit organization does have a bobcat, so I feel like if we're able to get it out here, you might not need to even rent that kind of equipment. I can try to work with you, try to give you all the information that we had when we started the farm. You'll be able to grow food, source it for your grocery stores.
With this land here, I don't have to go to those big box stores, Walmart and all that. I can keep it right here locally. I would love to do that. Come on, give you this information. What's going on? Oh, good. It's a huge crisis because this is a poor community and people was living paycheck to paycheck before this virus happened. When everything had to get shut down, people lost that last paycheck, but they still have to eat. They still have to take care of their families. And many people came to my store. It got so bad, I have a ledger, a book, where I write down the customer's name and how much money they owe. It's hard. It's hard for a lot of people. And when they come, like I said, they just want to eat. That's all they want, food. Food, love, and right now they can't get it. This is the only store in my entire community. If you want something to eat, you're gonna come here. If you wanna wash your clothes, you're gonna come here. The fresh fruits, this is the only place. Life has never been normal here in the Lower Ninth Ward ever since Hurricane Katrina, and now it's even, I'm sorry, it's even worse now because the coronavirus, it's very bad. It's very bad for a lot of people. And I see it every day. I feel like the weight of the world, it's on my shoulder because the community need this. This is the only place to get food here. There's nowhere else. Everyone comes here. And it has taken a toll on me, it has. But I can't stop. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm not gonna stop. I'm a very, very, very fortunate man. I found my purpose in life. Yeah, this is Burnell.
My name is Betty Belay, and I live in Oregon, and I saw your story on TV, and I just need your address. I'm not rich, but I'm going to send you a little donation.
Thank you so much. This means the world to me. Thank you.
Okay, well, I will put your donation in the mail this week, okay?
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for thinking about me. Thank you. This means a lot.
Well, thank you for helping your family and friends over there. I mean, it's hard everywhere, but, you know, I just try to donate wherever I think I can. You know, I'm not rich or anything. I'm a widow.
Yes, ma'am.
But I have some extra money, so.
Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Oh, and God bless you.
Bless you also.
And take care of yourself and all your friends. Be safe.
I promise you I will. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow. See, when I get a call like this let me know. It goes back to what I was just about to tell you. This just happened. I have no idea who this lady is. I never met her. She can walk up here right now and say, Burnell, tell me my name. I give you a check for $10 million. I wouldn't know her. I never seen her before. I have no ideas. But this goes to connect what I was just about to answer your question. I found my purpose in life. Once you find your purpose in life, everything will come to you. You're not just born to grow up, fall in love, get a job, pay your bills, grow old and die. No, that's not why you're here. You have to find out why you're here. I found out my purpose in life. My purpose is service. It's simple. This is why I was able to go from serving my country in the military to now serving my community. And once you find out why you're here in this world, everything will come to you. That's like this phone call. And I was very, very, very fortunate to find out why I was supposed to be here. And once everybody needs to do that, and your life would change. Your life would change like this overnight. I have no regrets. Have this taken a toll on me? Yes. Do I come home and want to cry sometimes and say, of course, but I keep going. And this year shows why I need to do this year. Because people believe in you, people are watching you.
Love is hard. Love is hard.